Welcome back to the Conway Regional Health System pregame show. I am Jeff Matthews. On one side of me is Levi Gilbert. The other side is Tim Roach. We are the voices of the Wampus Cats, and we're back after a week off, and it's taken a minute to get going again. But here we are. It may take you a minute to get going again as a fan, and so hopefully it will not take the team a minute to get going as they are back in action tonight. It's Little Rock Southwest. It is the start of the conference season. I was mentioning a few minutes ago that there's really 3 seasons in a football season, the non-conference, the postseason, and the conference season. One is in the past. One's about a month and a half away, but the other one's starting here in just a few minutes. Let's talk about, though, Marion first, because we did not have a game last week. Shutout for the defense. Took a little while to get the offense going, but that's not a huge surprise because of a new quarterback that came in, Ryder Cook. You guys take us through the Marion game. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think you nailed it, right? It was like the offense was slow going, not completely unexpected. But the defense, man, they played shutout football, which, let's be honest, after the first 2 games, I think probably was a little unexpected, especially coming to a place where Marion, they'd scored 111 points in their first 2 games, and then we held them to 0. I don't care if they're a lower classification. That's a big win for your defense, especially a defense that needed a win and needed some momentum built. And I think that's carried over into the last 2 weeks of practice. I think the bye week, they didn't have a great week of practice, but it sounds like this week they've been having good practices. So excited for them. You hold Marion to under 275 yards of total offense. Your offense is kind of similar. Both teams kind of look the same in terms of offensively where they were having success and where they weren't having success. But like you said, you're having to figure this out on the fly with the new quarterback and sophomore Ryder Cook. These kinds of things are going to be expected. But come on, the Wild Crow? we didn't expect that. I think you're going to see more of these kinds of new wrinkles because you're going to have to. They're going to have to figure out new ways to get some things going offensively. And props to the coaching staff for that, being able to do that, because it's hard to lose your big arm quarterback in week 2. And now you got to figure out something else to do. And man, it sounds like they're figuring it out. And I was oddly excited going into the Marion game. The excitement continues. I'm excited about this conference season because nothing is a given anymore. And I know as a fan, you're probably like, well, that's kind of weird to be excited about that. But it's just like, I know they can still have success and do what they've done, but they're going to have to work harder to do it. And I'm excited about that.
I will tell you from my perspective, it was finally seeing a team that had a moment to grasp, and they made it happen when they had to make it happen. That was both defensively, 2 critical 4th and less than 1 stops in our own territory, where those things could have led to touchdowns or at least scoring opportunities. Our defense stepped up when they had to. They kind of gave a little bit in the middle of the field, but they shut it down when they had to. And that's not something we saw, for instance, against Bentonville. Offensively, when you are only leading by 1 score going into the 4th quarter, you really have to tighten the screws and make the most of everything that happens in front of you. And they did that, whether that was through the Wild Crow or through plays that Ryder was making. But I will tell you, Trey Harris had an amazing night, ran the ball all over the field, and that is because the offensive line was doing their job. They were beating guys in front of them. And I will tell you, Marion is not a team that they had a lot of success coming in. They were big, athletic. They were on you, and we took it to them in the trenches when we had to. A 19-0 score sounds like, okay, well, maybe you took care of business, and we did, but it was a tight game until the 4th quarter, and we found ways to win and make plays when we had to. That's what excited me about the Marion ball game.
So all eyes are going to be on Ryder Cook again. When you're the starting quarterback of any football team, that's what happens. The eyes are on you. Starting quarterback of a 7A team that's supposed to at least threaten their way to War Memorial Stadium is even more so. Let's talk about Ryder. Tell us what you know about him. He's a sophomore. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago. Comes from a great family. But what does he do that Wesley doesn't do? Maybe let's look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, well, I think obviously the legs. I mean, he's a fast kid. We saw it in the first game against Jonesboro as he came in cleanup time. We saw it a year ago when he was leading the junior high team, the 2 games we did. He can take off, man. He's just I say he's got that it factor, just the way he runs. I'm not saying it's like a swagger or anything like that, but sometimes you see these kids and you're like, man, he's got it. And I feel that way about Ryder Cook when he's running the ball. So that's something different that he brings into it. The thing is, though, there's not a lot behind Ryder Cook right now. So, they have to really be careful with how much do we run him. I was talking to someone this week and they were like, man, I really wish they'd take the restraints off of him a little bit. And I'm like, well, one, it was just one game. And two, you can't fully do that in week 2 against Marion. I mean, we still got 7 games to go. You got to protect him a little bit and give him some time to figure things out. But I mean, definitely he brings a threat to run the ball that, just that's not what you're expecting from Wesley Tapp. So it is a different element. And I think they can do some things to really be successful with that, but they're being a little careful right now. And I think that makes sense.
Well, for me, it was that he didn't flinch. He commanded the offense what they gave him, and to Levi's point, they kind of kept it limited, and I'm sure that was on purpose. And we had some success with some other things that were going on, but he didn't flinch. And again, it was a tight ball game. It was not, the game was in question in the fourth quarter, and he didn't flinch. He didn't bobble. He didn't let little small mistakes lead to bigger mistakes. He didn't try to do something that he shouldn't do. He didn't really extend plays that he didn't need to extend. I was pleased with how he played because he managed the ball game so well, and it looked like he knew what he was doing. And he probably did, but he's just a sophomore. That was a big stage, and I like that he didn't flinch.
One more question looking backwards before we get into Southwest and the start of the conference season. What about defensively? Who have you seen on defense? Give me 1 or 2 guys that have really, really stepped up.
Well, if I'm just going off of, Marion, I think I got to talk about DK Turner because he gets his first start of the year, didn't play at all at Bentonville, comes in, gets his first start of the year. And I didn't realize it in real time, but when I was going through and logging clips later, both of those 4th and 1 plays that Tim mentioned earlier, DK was the first one to make contact both times. The first one, he had a little help coming in behind, but the second one was all him. I mean, he made the tackle, and then he had an interception late in the game. I mean, that was a really, a big moment, I feel like, for DK, and hopefully build some confidence for him. Cam Sims has played well. Lawrence Wagner has played really well. I think he may have started at Marion, but he's like one of the second defensive ends. And they've got some freshman defensive linemen that are starting to really come on. Elijah Branch, Jabari Criswell's gotten in some. So I think there's a lot you could look at, but I mean, for me, I got to mention DK Turner because, man, what a game he had at Marion.
For me, it's Trayvon Logan. He's the lone senior when you get behind the line of scrimmage. He's been playing all over the field. I mean, he gets a lot of things right in the position he's in, which is leading back there. He's having to direct traffic pre-snap, and then he's having to make sure that he does his job while also looking over his shoulder to make sure he doesn't need to do something else as well. So I think Trayvon Logan has really shown his leadership on defense and kind of held it together back on the back end.
2-1 out of the non-conference, not terrible. We'd love to be 3-0, but going 2-1 is not a bad thing. But really, everybody's 0-0 right now. Tonight, we begin against Southwest, a program that's still trying to find its way, to be honest. They've been a school for a few years, but still struggling. 0-3 coming into tonight's game at John McConnell Stadium. What can you tell us about the Griffins that we need to know?
It's an odd thing because when you look at them, like if they physically, when they walk out on the field and the eyeball test, man, they pass the eyeball test. I mean, so it's not a struggle of like, do you have athletes? Because they definitely do. I mean, both of their tackles, you're going to see them tonight. There's some big guys out there. They can move around, but it's just, I just think it's a lack of consistency for, maybe you have a player that comes in and then they don't play at all the following year. So it's almost like in college where they're having a lot of turnover every year on rosters. I feel like that's kind of the struggle with Southwest. And I mean, the guy they got at the helm, he seems like he's the right guy to get them fired up and to play. but just a struggle to build some consistency. If they could ever get just a little glimpse of success, and we saw it with their basketball team, their boys basketball team 2 years ago, they got into the playoffs and now they're like consistently competitive. If they could just get that going for 1 year, man, they might take off. Now, one thing we'll probably talk about more in the game tonight is there's a chance this may be the last time we play them in at least in conference. So could a move down to 6A maybe help them find some success? I don't know. I mean, it's tough down in 6A too, but a lot of interesting things when you think about Southwest. I mean, this is their 6th season as a program, and just not really a lot to show for it yet. And I hate that for them. Don't hate it so much on this Friday night, but the other Friday nights, I root for Southwest on the other Friday nights.
Yeah, they've scored 20 points on the season, and they've given up 150 or thereabouts, and they haven't been close at all. So that's the kind of the thing that you run into with Little Rock Southwest, and it continues to Levi's point. Some of that is players. They do have quality athletes, and it's just getting them all together and working together consistently, just as Levi said. So he hit on all the points. I will tell you, though, that they're very athletic. I mean, they've got guys that can beat you. If you give them a little bit too much of an edge, give them too much room, they can get behind you very quickly. So we have to play fast, athletic, big. We have to do all that stuff that we have. This is one of those games that if we take care of us, that'll take care of the game. And so I'm looking forward to not only seeing how our starters respond at home after the break and after being gone for a month or so, but also how potentially some of the younger guys play as well given the Friday night lights.
We'll kick it off at 7:00 tonight. When we come back, though, it's the senior spotlight, and we'll have the senior spotlight. And I'll be honest, is it Naven?
Naven, yeah.
Naven?
Like Nathan. But
like
with
Nathan, but Naven. Okay. I've heard you say it on Friday nights, and I've seen it written, but I thought I'm questioning myself how to say that name. So Naven Richardson, correct, is going to be with you at the senior spotlight. And then following that, your visit with Coach Buck James that happens each week. And then I'll look at the rest of the 7A Central as everyone gets underway tonight. That comes up in just a few minutes. Thanks, guys. Appreciate the time with you. The Conway Regional Health System pregame show continues next on Conway Corp.